pathetic, man. So I will try to narrate it from the perspective of defensive jiu-jitsu that Jeff seems to be very good at, and it's an old match. So now we know more, and now we can explain why it works and why Jeff's games is not considered goofy, not fundamental, not attribute based, and I think it's very important to be able to explain why things work, and even if they don't seem to fit with some understanding, and maybe it's time to maybe upgrade our understanding of what is possible and what is considered fundamental. Because knowing what I know now, I don't think Jeff's games is very advanced, because we can explain why he's safe, and I will point out also the way he escapes and survives, and I think we all can do this. Anyway, let's go. I'm waiting till some side control things happen, and then I'm gonna talk about my ideas and opinions. So more on that coming. Always attacking, that's always fun. Jeff is actually a very, interesting character. Never met him, but in a way, you have to take it in the right context. We tend to think alike, and so he has also very interesting ideas from close guard top, when he uses close guard top as an attacking position, as going after kimuras, attacking from close guard top and kind of stacking. And so there's I've been thinking about the same things, and there are also some videos out when I explain those ideas, and so he's very, very out there in a very good way of exploring, and I'm using him also as a filter, that if he puts his name behind certain things, that it says they're worth studying, and I don't have to do the many hours of experimentation to understand if some route is worth taking. So I use him example in some way, like close guard also go like, okay, he says it also, it's good, and so okay, now I will look further and what it is. So I think we should use those outliers as an example, and figuring out what's possible, and making sense of them. So yeah, so see, I guess let's watch the sequence, and then I will little bit rewind back. And you watch it a couple of times, and then we will see how it resolves, and then turtle, and so many people consider this actually super dangerous tactics. See, now he's back. Yeah. Oh, let's go back more. Where he's getting past. Okay. So many people are probably saying, oh, this is not fundamental, dangerous, attribute based. And if beginners want to go after it, it's like, don't go. It's not fundamental. But see, I think Jeff has good open guard, clearly. Inverts, attacks, but he's allowing it to pass. But I think his good defense allows him to do that. And I think Ben Edin knows, what he's doing, and knows attacks. And you can consider, if there's nothing there for him to take, maybe there's some ideas of jiu-jitsu that we should you also consider, because everybody thinks turning your back is dangerous, and Jeff kind of gets away with that super easy. So if it's that dangerous, it cannot look like this, because clearly we have opponents who knows what they're doing. So there is a controversial evidence that maybe it's okay to turn your back in some cases. Jeff is, that's his style interpretation, and maybe he does it too much, but that's, who cares? You can do it less or more, so that's not the point. But the point is you can do it, and I think it's way better to know when somebody is in your back, behind your back, and also front of you. So you actually will be more aggressive, and the whole match is Jeff actually is attacking. So very, very interesting. Anyway, they're passing. So I call this position hawking, like when the back is more towards the mat. And there's a version we can play head off the mat a bit, and there's a head down the mat. Also depends on where's the top guy's weight. Is it more on the hip? So I tend to more sit up, and head up helps. If they're more upper body kind of, then the head down maybe helps. So, but there's different ways of playing those things, and not everything has to be fundamentally correct in a higher level. You see also boxers doing not classical stances and keeping arms down, and so there's an interpretation, and if you know the rules, you can break them all. But there has to be you have to be able to retract them. Then what is the fundamental part of that? So let's go more. So now I think he will change to running manish, what we call running man, like chest towards the mat more. This hook is actually, he will reach a bit also to grab the hook. Running man legs, like fundamental, I would use it differently. Like this leg goes over other leg, but this, I would use this leg position more when my back would be more towards the mat. But he's also, this is his version, his interpretation, and like he's teasing a bit because he's gonna reach also with the hook soon. See, he's trying to, because sometimes there's a space here to get the hook in those escapes. See, now, not giving up so much underhooks. I guess here you can have many different wrist fights, and it's super cool to see how relaxed Jeff is, because clearly opponent is dangerous. See, so there's an option to play with that. Jeff chose right now, because I haven't talked to him, I don't know his reasoning. He chose cross arm, so to have a wrist fighting. It opens a bit up the elbow as an underhook option also. So usually when I teach those things to beginners, we tend to have same side arm fights the same side arm, but cross comes with responsibilities, and if you know what the trade-offs are, then it's totally fine. So he gets a seatbelt soon. See, and now he's reaching, so it's just reaching over the head. And this is important that actually the head is turned and the shoulder is that the seatbelt is actually, if I say wrong, you have to take it again in the right context, but he's slipping away. So that's the important part. The shoulder is slipping down already. And he's trying to also, I guess, manage the grip fight, so nothing fast can happen. And so he's grabbing the choking arm. See, he was so low. It wasn't like a regular seatbelt, like if you get a seatbelt, then head would be here. See, your body would be in a better position, so to speak. But see, he's sliding down. He's already, moving his back towards the mat, and I think his bottom knee is also not completely under, and so that's why he abandons. And see, the click is also here, so he doesn't allow him to maybe go to elbow. So those grip fighting clicks are actually very, very interesting. They remind me, and also I'm going to try it in a gym. They remind me that the old Gracie instructionals when Royce Gracie is, Horion, I think, takes the back, and Royce is holding one arm, kind of covering the armpit and one arm over the head, so to speak. And so this is, I don't like that, so to speak, the empty grips. I like always the clicks that the arm has to attach somewhere. So this, it kind of looks the same in that sense. And that arm here, clicking, controlling, not letting Eddie, to change the grip fast. So the transitions are controlled. So it's really hard. Maybe somebody with longer arms could go like an arm triangle here, but because grips are controlled, anytime you transition, so it's easy. Let's say it's easier to manage it. And so Eddie decides to abandon it. Yeah. So underhooks, still running Manishi, grabbing, see, and getting to the guard. So this, that kind of relaxation and skill level, it's super impressive. And now, what I know now, it's just now I understand, what Jeff does, and I'm happy that I can explain it. And this because clearly the guy has skills. And imagine when we can teach beginners this, because if you followed my work, you know that I'm a little bit against the way we teach side control. I'm flat on the back, and then we use frames and a hip and a neck, and people have already cross face underhook. So why not teach this way side control? Not only turning away like this, but also turning inwards, but not giving people grips. And so I think in side control, we see in competitions good guys are doing those, and it's clearly hard to attack. So why we're starting to teach beginners, being crossface underhook flat, and then we escape with a bridge and shrimp. So I think we have to follow the evidence, and evidence points to something else, how good guys are playing. And it might look advanced, but actually I don't think it's that advanced. I think it just works, and we can explain it. And so that's, I'm already beating the horse to the death. So it's really, I'm happy kind of, because I've seen that match before. Clearly, I watched the EBIs and stuff, but now I can make sense of it. So see, all this is allowed because of the crazy level of defense. Because he just seems to not care. And that's what the good defense does. So I'm a defensive guy, so I like to study defense. And then the reason is that if we understand the defense, you can just put everything back and be as active as you want. But without a good defense, it's dangerous to reach, dangerous, to attack this kind of open game, or just play that kind of open game. So anyway, let's move on. See the hooks, not giving up cross faces, underhooks. See, not staying flat. I guess there's some darts attached there. Not giving underhooks. Kind of running Manish again, turtling a lot. Did actually, yes, very nice transition. We use as postures, we call it a running man panda, and hawking even. So see, that turtle happens. There's probably some wrist fighting going on. So now this kind of tucked in position where opponent can be top of you when you sit, or behind you when you sit, we call panda, sitting turtle. And now he falls to the side, and this is like perfect hawking, because it just allows you to right away, if you would want, he would invert right away. See, when he falls over not flat, but he falls over to the side, and perfect like a hawking position, and grips and stuff, and this grip here, and if possible, I think he could just also invert, but he chose to not to. So, but he didn't fall flat, so that's the important part. He fell, see, and right away in a good position, and right away he was occupying the space that was needed for a top person. See, wrist fighting probably, see, grabbing, see, pump. See that space between the armpit and the knee, when you crunch in, and he has clearly hooks, so it's kind of hard to even come to a half guard because his ability to invert is excellent. And many people these days are talking about the knee, the elbow connection, and touching the elbow to the top knee. Uh, I would like to disagree with that. And it's more like shoulder to the to the knee, or knee to the shoulder this way. So I have to make my mind about it yet, but it's just open guard. If you watch Meow Brothers and you watch Keenan, it's mostly it's knee to the shoulders, that space. It's not always the knee to the elbow. So I think so. Yeah, so it's just throwing it there. Anyway, going backwards. Deep half guard, I'm a big fan of now because of that we have Hawking 2.0, and we can explain how being under there is safe, and underhooks and reverse triangles and can be more easily dealt with when you have Hawking 2.0. So now I'm gonna probably teach it in my gym as a deep half guard. Usually there were some things I didn't like about it, the smashing part, the going over the head part. I think Jeff pulls one deep half guard off here also. See again the grip fights, not letting the underhook happen here, and controlling that kind of space and not allowing people to land. See, where's the head? Where's the? Let's see it again. See, knee slide, turning away with the legs, grip fighting, not giving the attachment, crossface underhook, not letting him lock the arms, and really hard to land when everything is crunched in. Really energy efficient, good for advanced guys to have a good long submission only match, and very good for beginners to preserve energy, to survive first years of Jiu-Jitsu, not getting crushed so much. So we call this position grilled chicken actually. See, nice attack. We kind of I kind of named, one of the white belts in our gym named rotisserie chicken. We call it grilled chicken in Estonian language, it's the same. And just knees to the chest position, you see it, pretty much all the high level guys are using it. So and also I'm kind of trying to explain just that's the position as a boxing stance, arms up, and you attack from there, and you do everything to keep that stance. And you can add any guard you want to that posture. So that's what we use for guard retention. See, just no upper body attachments. Really early, and side control escapes, they seem like super easy. Like if you watch this, I'm not saying they are, but they're not that hard that Jiu-Jitsu makes them look, and the way we teach, I think it makes it even harder for people to pull them off. So I even like to call it like a side retention. Not like there's a guard retention and maybe there's a side retention, and there's a side control maybe if they really get something. But I struggle to articulate it. Like what is it, that early stage? How do we call it? So some main issues. So this is what we call grilled chicken, open guard, like a knees to the chest, inverting, keeping that structure, and doing like all the retention work doing from there. I have DVDs about it. I think Lachlan's last DVD, he talks about it. I haven't seen it, but he talks also about knees to the chest. There's a Dan Lukart video about open guard stuff, and there's Keenan videos. Keenan, I think, is also there using that knee to the chest, Meow. So everybody that's good in guard uses that structure. And so the point is to keep it. That's the retention part, and then you can do whatever guard you like. So see, there's a R leg attack. Good defense allows you to just be kind of attacking. Like attack most of the times because you're relaxed, and you can attack from turtle, you can attack from side control bottom. So good defense allows you to play this kind of, you know, I wouldn't call it weird, but weird in that sense. You understand what I mean? It's kind of, clearly Jeff doesn't care what happens, and he has abilities to get out of different, maybe even deeper submissions. That's why he can play the way he plays, and it's very, very fun interpretation of our art. And it looks so out there, but it's actually not. When this is explained, this is not fundamentally that complicated. You know what I mean. So the sport part is hard, timing and everything. That's the hard part. But technically, why it works, and is there a luck involved, or Jeff is just talented, and we can explain it with using mechanics and why certain things work. And then it kills the magic, and then people can study and maybe mimic and do their own version of this. And I think it's very important that we can explain why things work. See, deep half guard. See that posture? Again, usually the deep half guard, I a little bit will talk out of my ass here because I'm not a deep half guard player like I yet, but now I like it. But usually the problem is they will hunt your bottom arm. They will step over your head by pushing it down. So there's a Marcelo step overs. So there's some fundamental issues with that. But the way Jeff goes to deep half guard, we call Hawking 2.0. See the way his head is away, and now he's also crunching. See, and if even the elbow would be on a mat, then he would crunch and not going under. So it's really, really hard to pick that up, that elbow up, even if it's on the ground, elbow here, and let's say cupping that shin bone. Yeah, like you have different grips here. You can have double unders. You can have one under, like right arm, and then left over, grabbing the chin maybe. So you have different options here. And the head is in a way that it's really hard to step over the head. And with this grip, it's hard to do Marcelo stuff because the shoulder is under. If it would be stretched body, you could have like a kind of knee on a mat and kind of, stepping over the head. But that crunching body type, you can also have like shoulder on a mat more, but Jeff is already like turning around. And this position is very, very awesome to play deep half guard. So now Jeff seems to be doing the sit, like a pull, really mechanically solid, like a swing on a mat, Go, see, when he goes under, clicks, see, and just circles, and just mechanically, it's really, really nice to see. Just makes sense. So, I guess there's some different versions of deep half guard. Some people just trying to compensate the common issues using, more sideways deep half guard and, hiding right away the arm under the leg because of the kimuras and stuff. But I think if you use that kind of crunching position, your arm is not that in danger. So kind of very, very awesome mechanical solutions for problems. So let's move on. We'll see what else happens here defensively.
There you go, Ben. 3 minutes to get the money, Jeff. Take the back, take the back. Watch the path. Watch that bundle. Once you put it through, he's going to grab it. There you go. That's you, that's you. 230. Watch the triangle. Step back. Use your leg. Your roll, your roll.
Let's see if Jeff gets to the bottom. I don't think so. Yeah. So yeah, it's really really fun to discover those old matches and see why they were safe, and now at least I understand more, and I try to understand the essence why they can do what they do, and pass it on also. And it's like I said many times in this video, it's not fundamentally that off track, so to speak, that you have to take a crazy route to some other part of jiu-jitsu and then it's hard to go back to the fundamental things. So but again, for me, it's like it. I know it looked so much out there when I first time saw it, and I'm always been intrigued by that. Why he's safe? Because clearly, attacker, the opponent is worthy, and if there will be any mistakes and submissions and possibilities to attack really quickly, this seemingly open position, turning your back, and so he would do it. So why does it work? So those things, they stick out to me very very hard, because like they're kind of punching me in the face. Why do they work? And many people discard them, of being like, oh yeah, it's attributes and doesn't, it's just not very fundamental, and Jeff is flexible. But I actually think it's way more. So he knows something. I don't know if he knows himself or not, but he clearly has the skill. So if we explain it, make it available for other people also, I think it makes us all better. So really cool, really cool. So that's it for now.